All right, Peach, we've talked some college football. I like LSU to win 9 games. You're not sold. You like my boys, Notre Dame. I'm just a little bit worried about the schedule, and I like some of the returning production, obviously, but they do lose some pieces from a national title team, a team that could have won it all, lost to Ohio State. But I think they'll be good, and it also helps not having to play in a conference, of course. Let's take a look at some of these Heisman prices, man, because you threw out a couple. Arch Manning's the favorite right now, 6-1. Yep. He opened at 9-1. Where are you at with Arch Manning? Because the other night you said, if his last name wasn't Manning, I don't think he'd be this hyped up. I think he's good, but I'm with you on that. Every mock draft I see, he's already the number 1 overall pick. The family's already come out and said Arch isn't coming out until 2027. Now, if he balls out, Texas wins a natty, he throws 50 touchdown passes, 4 picks only, 4,000 yards. He's probably coming out. But I actually, and usually I call BS with these guys. Yeah, he might go back to school. I could see Arch going back to school just like Eli did, just like Peyton did, because he's making so much money. And also in that family, do you really need the money? I mean, you're making $5 million, $6 million through NIL, and your uncle's Peyton Manning, your other uncle's Eli Manning, even your dad Cooper. Like Fox gave him a job to tell bad jokes on NFL Sundays a couple of years ago. So I don't know, man. I think Arch goes back to Texas even after this year.
You certainly could. Yeah, I just, like you said, I think Arch is a good football player. I don't think he's a great football player. I don't think he is as good as some of the quarterbacks that we've had in college football the last couple of years. Now, it certainly helps him that he's playing under Sark, who's obviously a great offensive mind. They got great weapons there at Texas, including Ryan Wingo, who I think is going to be a terrific player. So he got a lot of great supporting talent, good offensive line, even though they lost some guys to the draft. But I'm just not, especially at the price, man, with Arch at plus 600. I'm good on that. So keep in mind, I mean, this guy's playing his first year of college football, right, as the starter. So teams are going to get a lot of film on him. Got a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players in the SEC, and they're going to have good game plans around him. So no part of me wants Arch at plus 600.
The thinking, especially with that price, everybody's probably thought process when it was 9-1 is we're not going to get 9-1 when we get closer to July or August, so we'll grab it right now, which knocks it down to 6-1. And if Texas wins double-digit games again this season, like they should, right, and makes it back to the college football playoff, he's going to get some votes. He should at least be in New York because of his last name, and he should put up decent enough numbers in the Sark offense with those weapons, like you said. So it makes sense, but I'm definitely not betting him today here in May at 6-1, man. I would need a better price, even on Arch Manning. And that's kind of where I'm at with Garrett Nussmeier. He opened plus 850. He's still sitting there at plus 850 if you want him, but we just got done talking about LSU. Their win total is 8.5, and that's the other thing. You have to look at the criteria. You probably have to win 10 games. Like even Travis Hunter, Colorado last year was in contention for the Big 12. Nobody saw that coming. If I would have known that they were going to be that improved, I would have bet some Travis Hunter too, but I thought they were going to win 5-6 games. So I would rather play LSU over 8.5 wins than play Garrett Nussmeier to win the Heisman. Or I'd rather play Nussmeier to be the number 1 overall pick. Especially because he is 25 years old. These older quarterbacks, these guys that have been around for a while, have been the better draft pick lately. But I'm not playing him at plus 850. What do you think about Jeremiah Smith, though? He opened 13-1. He's 10-1. Travis Hunter won this award last year as a wide receiver / DB. But I don't know, man. I mean, Devontae Smith won the award at Alabama. I think Jeremiah Smith could put up comparable numbers at Ohio State. And I also think he could be the number 1 overall pick. And I don't think I'll ever say that again with a wide receiver. I thought the Giants even took Neighbors. And, Marvin Harrison even went a little bit too soon. But I could see Jeremiah Smith with that skill set being the number 1 overall pick. I don't really want to bet him at 10-1 to win the Heisman, though.
No, that's the thing. It's the price. If you were getting 20, 25-1, like we were with Marvin Harrison Jr. a couple of years ago, it's a different conversation.
Right.
But, I'm seeing 10-1s for Jeremiah Smith. He is the best player in college football. And like you said, Ryan, he could go number 1 overall, and it wouldn't really be all that crazy. But I can't bet him at that price, right? As a receiver, you obviously rely so much on your teammates and everybody around you. Julian Sayin is probably going to start for Ohio State.
Yep.
And we don't know how good he is.
Yeah.
So I don't want any part of Jeremiah Smith. I'm staying away from him. I don't want any part of Cade Klubnik or Drew Aller either, right? See, a lot of this Heisman betting for me is you kind of just knock out certain guys based on price. Cade Klubnik at 10-1. In what world? We saw him play one good game against Texas. A majority of Klubnik's career, he has really struggled in big games against great teams. Now, again, the ACC is a weaker league. He's not going to play as many great teams. His Heisman moments are going to come against LSU, are going to come against South Carolina, right? Some of the bigger games on their schedule. So he's really got to show up in those games. If you think Clemson's going to win those games, you think Klubnik's going to play well, then I would understand a bet on him. I do not think he's going to play all that great in those games, and I think certain guys around the league are going to get way more opportunities than he will. So I'm passing on him. And then Drew Aller might be the most overrated of them all. I mean, the talk this guy might go number 1 overall. I think his decision-making is terrible. He's a Karen with his complaining and how he handles certain situations, which I absolutely can't stand. And it's Penn State in big games, right? For Aller to win the Heisman, he's got to beat Ohio State. He's got to win big games. He's got to beat Oregon. Do you trust Penn State to beat either of those teams?
No.
Probably not. So I'm done with Aller, too. And then Dante Moore at 18-1.
Do we know he's good?
We don't. I think of all these guys that I like, Ryan, if I were to bet any of them 20-1 or lower, it would be Lenora Sellers. Just because he's got the talent and the upside I'm looking for.
Yep.
South Carolina, if they made it to the playoff, then it would elevate Sellers' status and everybody. And if they make the playoff, it's because he has an incredible year, and everybody's like, "Holy smokes, this kid's awesome." So I think Sellers would be the first guy that I would look at 18-1. But dude, I keep going back to Austin Simmons, 40-1. I'm seeing some 40-1s for Austin Simmons at Ole Miss. We only watched him play like 6 meaningful snaps, but out of what I saw, I thought he looked better than Jackson Dart. I thought Kiffin should have kept him in the game rather than bringing Dart back in. Now, Dart came back in.
Thought he was going to keep him in the game, man. Because that's
Dude,
I almost forgot about that. Yeah, they went right down the field.
Simmons looked awesome. And Ryan, their win total is at 8.5. It's juiced like crazy, minus 190 to the over. If Ole Miss makes the playoff, man, if they win 10 games, which I think is doable with that schedule, Simmons is going to be in the mix. You know they're going to put up numbers. You know they're going to pad stats when they go up against some of the lesser teams. You know Kiffin's always going to have good receivers. Simmons is going to have some games where he throws for 400 yards this year. I really like him at 40-1.
I do too. I'm looking at some of these names, man. You're almost like, oh my God, I forgot that he's there now. Like Miller Moss, former USC great for 3 weeks, is now at Louisville. He's 50-1. Kevin Jennings is still at SMU. If you think SMU, see, that's the thing, though, man. Can they win double-digit games again? Are they going to win those big ACC games? But 50-1 on Jennings is kind of a crazy price. Jalen Daniels is back at Kansas. He's 50-1. He's got to stay healthy. If I'm looking in that range, I know he's a running back, and this isn't the 90s anymore, but he is a Notre Dame running back. And if you think Notre Dame can win 10 games, Jeremiah Love is 50-1. Opened at 50-1. I feel like nobody's even talking about him right now. I mean, we just played that clip coming back, a 98-yard touchdown run. I don't hate that. DJ Lagway took some serious money. He opened 25-1. He's down to 18-1. This is a big year for Florida now, man. They have to at least win 8 to 9 games and go to a major bowl game. But I don't know that that's going to be possible, especially with their schedule, so I don't want to play him at 18-1. What do you think about Ty Simpson? He opened at 55-1. Now 66-1. He's not even officially the starting quarterback right now. But if Alabama does win 10 games, do you think he could play good enough to at least be in the running, in the conversation in New York? Because that's a crazy price, 66-1 on an Alabama quarterback. Ryan Williams, for context, is 35-1. And I love Ryan Williams. I mean, he hit that one spin move, and we're going to hype it up for like ever. But I would rather play the quarterback that's throwing him the football.
Dude, I agree. I love that price on Ty. 66-1.
66-1. It opened at 55-1. Now down to 66-1 at BetMGM.
He's going to be the starter.
Yeah,
he's going to be the starter.
Yeah.
Grubb's back for DeBoer. He's got his guy back at OC. And as the Panthers just scored a goal.
Brutal.
I like that price a lot.
Me too.
I think Ty Simpson's going to be like a Mac Jones type. You know, he's going to have that kind of year where they have so much talent around him, and he's going to do such a good job as like the facilitator, the point guard, spreading the wealth. They don't really have a great running game to lean on either. And look, DeBoer's best years right in Washington were with Penix and those receivers.
Yep.
And that's what they built at Alabama. They hopefully have their quarterback, but they just have these studs receivers. My buddy calls me every week, Ryan, to tell me how much he loves our receiving core. He thinks they are going to be terrific. So,
66-1,
dude,
is a
and
good
you
price.
said the most important part: 66-1 for Alabama's quarterback.
Right.
I mean, look at all these other teams. You're getting plus 800 for LSU's quarterback, 10-1 for Clemson's. You're getting 20-1 for Ohio State, 12-1 for Ohio State's quarterback, 16-1 for Oregon's. You're getting plus 600 for Texas's quarterback, 18-1 for Florida. all these big brand name schools, 25 to 1, 20 to 1, 15, 10 to 1. Bama's all the way down at 66
to 1. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. With that,
And the pressure's
offense,
on to win this year. I know it's year 2 only for DeBoer, but if they win double-digit games, yeah, in the offense, yeah.
That's the thing, dude, right? I mean, it'd be one thing if it was like a defensive-minded head coach, but even under Saban towards the later years, I mean, we saw Bryce Young win a Heisman Trophy, right? Like, we saw quarterbacks have success in that system, and now you got DeBoer, who's a great offensive mind, as Florida just scored again, dude.
Oh, unreal. You got to be kidding me. Unreal. Thomas Castellanos is now at Florida State. I almost forgot about that. He's 66 to 1. They got to win this year, too. It's so funny for Norvell, man, because 2 years ago they went undefeated in the regular season. They kind of get screwed because of the Jordan Travis injury, but I don't like when people make that argument because nobody wanted to see that Florida State team with their backup quarterback or third-string quarterback, playing in a meaningful game. But he's 60 to 1. Yep, Ty Simpson is still sitting there 66 to 1 right now. Sawyer Robertson from Baylor, 66 to 1. The funniest thing that I've seen, Nico Imaliava, when the odds opened, was still the quarterback at Tennessee. Little did everybody know that he just wasn't going to show up to practice, and there was the whole NIL,
right,
dad situation with the money. But he opened 13 to 1. Last year, I bet him 16 to 1, and I still hate myself for it, thinking that he was going to be the real deal. He actually went from 13 to 1 at Tennessee, transfers to UCLA with his brother, by the way, and he's now 80 to 1.
Right.
So that's insane, and I would not bet that. I want nothing to do with Nico Imaliava.
Ryan, I love this market too, right? I'm looking at the last 10 years. Here are all your Heisman Trophy winners and what their preseason odds were. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Travis Hunter last year was 35 to 1. Jaden Daniels the year before, 10 to 1. Caleb Williams, 8 to 1. Bryce Young, 9 to 1. All those guys, number 1 picks or number 2 picks, right? So again, the thought is Arch, Nussmeier, number 1, number 2 picks, they probably end up winning the Heisman. Devontae Smith, 66 to 1. Joe Burrow, 40 to 1. Kyler Murray, 30 to 1. Baker Mayfield, plus 700. Lamar was 100 to 1. And then Derrick Henry was 25 to 1. So again, right, like skill position guys, running back and wide receiver, Derrick Henry, Devontae Smith, 25 to 1, 66 to 1. If you're going to take a shot with a running back or wide receiver, Travis Hunter, 35 to 1, take some longer shots. I wouldn't take Jeremiah Smith at 12 to 1.
No.
And then quarterback, it's totally a mixed bag. I think you either go favorites, you either go top of the board, or you either look for those 40 to 1 long shots, right? That's why I like the call with Ty Simpson. That's why I like Austin Simmons. Or that's why I like Sellers, even though he's not like one of the favorites.
Yeah.
That would be the guy towards the top that I would target. But that's kind of what the Heisman is. It's so funny, dude, to go back through, too, and look at the preseason favorites for some of the Heisman Awards. Trayvon Boykin at a TCU was the favorite to win the Heisman in 2015.
Oh, I know. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember that, but it's funny going back and looking at some of these
Spencer
numbers, dude.
Rattler was favored in 2021
at Oklahoma.
550. Oh,
yeah, he was the favorite. Yeah, I remember that, dude. There's been some nasty ones in there. JT Daniels one year, I feel like 5 years in a row, was one of the favorites. JT Daniels played college football for like 80 years. Last I checked, he was at Rice.
And for what it's worth, Ryan,
he got a house out of it.
The last decade, the preseason favorite has not won the Heisman Trophy. I think you have to go back to Mariota, the last time a preseason favorite has won the Heisman. So, again, that's why I'm throwing out Arch, dude. And I really don't want Nussmeier either.
No, I don't want the 2 favorites. I want to go down the board. The only other one that I would consider, and we've only seen a short sample size, he's not the biggest dude, but he actually played all right against Notre Dame. The team was beat up. Gunnar Stockton, if he's going to be the starter at Georgia, is 35 to 1. And Georgia, under Kirby, is always going to win 10 games.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like, you have to look at teams that are going to be competitive, that are going to win 10 to 11 games, double-digit games, and probably be at least in the conversation with the college football playoff. And that's why you're looking at a lot of those top names at the top, like Nussmeier, Manning, Smith, and Klubnik, because they're going to be on double-digit win teams. I'm with you on Drew Aller, too. I couldn't imagine betting him 14 to 1 when the last visual evidence, or the last visual you have of him is that game against Notre Dame.